to the Chesapeake Movie Show. I'm your host, Harry Beatty. I'm coming to you on location from the banks of the beautiful Chester River, right behind me here, on the eastern shore of Maryland, the land of pleasant living. This is the Chesapeake Movie Show. It's a show to talk about movies, to have fun with films, and I thought I'd start out by talking about a movie from my list of all-time personal favorites. This movie, it's a classic film. It's maybe one of your favorites too. It's, in my opinion, the quintessential movie musical. It's called Singin' In The Rain. It's a movie that's about the golden age of Hollywood. Sort of a romanticized view of the golden age of Hollywood. To borrow a phrase, it's kind of the Hollywood that never was and always will be. It's about the time when talking pictures first came out, and it's what we're seeing is how some silent film stars, two in particular, Donald Lockwood and Lena Lamont, have to deal with being on top of the world as stars of the silent film era, and then suddenly overnight basically having to adapt to talking pictures. Not only talking, but singing and dancing as well. And for Donald Lockwood, this isn't a problem, because Donald Lockwood, he rose up the ranks from vaudeville, was a stuntman for a while. He's got talents. He can sing, he can dance, he can tell jokes, and he loves to entertain. He's a big ham. So he's a natural at this. His co-star, longtime leading lady, Lena Lamont, is not a natural at this. She's mainly got the job because she was a pretty face. She can't sing, she can't dance, she has basically no talent, and worst of all, she talks like this. So she ends up being the main antagonist of the film, as she's trying to figure out a way to stay on top, despite the fact that she has no business being in talking pictures. And I love this setting. I love this golden age of Hollywood. This is important to me in a film, a great film. If the film can create a world that we as audience members want to spend the next couple of hours in, where we enjoy visiting that world, and that golden age of Hollywood it's a fun place. It's a place of movie magic, a place where, particularly since it's a musical, there's singing and dancing and everywhere, and it's just fun to hang out in this world for a little while. And to go on to talk about the music, the songs, certainly the title song, I'm sure you've all heard before. The title song is the best, but they're all good. It's all really catchy music. Is music that you can sing along with, hum along with. It's just fabulous. And then, of course, with the songs comes the dance numbers, and the dancing is fantastic. It stars Gene Kelly, who is one of the greatest hoofers of the silver screen. He's right up there with Fred Astaire. Actually, in my opinion, I prefer him, Gene Kelly, to Fred Astaire. And then his co-stars, Donald O'Connor. He's not as well known as a dancer, but he just keeps right up with Gene Kelly. He is fantastic as well, and Debbie Reynolds also right up there with him. The one thing I will say about the dance numbers, if there is any criticism for this film, it would probably come out of one of the dance numbers. And this probably would not have been seen as a criticism at the time. It's probably because of, the modern art audiences used to a different kind of pace to their films. But one of the musical numbers, Broadway Melody, it's a really long dance number, and it has its own story. It's almost like a short film within this film. So it's kind of taking you away from the main story of the film for a little while. And it's a pretty long time that you're away from the main story of the film. Now, the Broadway Melody story is entertaining in its own right, But after a while, you kind of start thinking, oh, weren't we watching another movie for a while back there? And eventually, it does get back to the main film. And I think at the time, this wouldn't have been seen as a problem. That number in particular, this is the big number of the film, and this is the big spectacle. It's got all the cast of thousands and everything, all singing and dancing in the background, and that was what spectacle in the movies meant at that time. It was big dance numbers. Today, if you're talking about spectacle, you're probably watching explosions and giant robots. But back in those days, when they didn't have those kind of special effects, spectacle was big, huge, elaborate dance numbers with the thousands of people that filled the screen. And that was very entertaining for an audience back then. In fact, it's still entertaining now. It's just paced differently. But I still love this film, and this is not really a complaint. It's just different from films today. Other thing I love about this film is the humor, the comedy. This is a funny film. Donald O'Connor, in particular, playing the role of Cosmo Brown. He's Donald Lockwood's sidekick, best friend. He's at first he's plays mood music for the silent film stars, just to set the mood, to set the tone for what they're going to be acting to. And this is a pretty low-paying job, pretty low-esteemed job on the set. Well, once the talkies come in, he gets promoted to being head of their entire musical department, and so the transition to talkies is good for him. But his main role in the movie, as a character in the movie, is mainly to make jokes. Almost every line that comes out of his mouth is a joke, and they're very funny. But especially pay attention to one particular number, Make 'Em Laugh. When I first saw that number, I was rolling on the floor laughing at that. That is hysterical. He's singing and doing this comedy, physical comedy, slapstick dance routine to it. If you haven't seen it, watch it and pay particular attention to that number, because you'll be laughing at that. What else do we have about this movie? We've got characters. I've already mentioned a few of them. Donald Lockwood, Lena Lamont. Kathy Selden is the love interest, played by Debbie Reynolds. She's this up-and-coming singer, dancer, wants to be a legitimate actress on the stage. She wants to recite those great lines by the great playwrights. And she does well in this new world of the talkies, because this gives her chance. She wanted to move to New York to get her chance at reciting those great lines, but now you can do it in the movies, so this works out good for her. The only one who fails at this is Lena. So it's, and that just that voice is funny with Lena, and what am I, dumb or something? She keeps repeating that line, and she's dumb. She doesn't know how to do anything except stand in front of a movie camera and look pretty. So she's out there trying to manipulate the situation to keep herself on top. And by the way, I'm shooting this kind of in a home video style. There's aircraft going overhead now. You may not be able to hear me in this part. There we go. This is a very low rent show. I have no video editing software or skills at it. I'm just running the camera, so whatever happens is going to happen live on camera. So if you didn't hear me while that aircraft went overhead, I apologize, but I'm back now. So the movie is Singin' in the Rain. It is one of my favorite films. You've probably already seen it. Most people have probably seen this. Most people that are interested in films, anyway. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have seen it, go see it again. It's worth it. It holds up. Like I said, it does seem to go off on a tangent in that Broadway melody number in about 3/4 of the way through the film, but that's entertaining too. So give it a try if you haven't already. I love it. You might love it too. And this is Harry Beatty for the Chesapeake Movie Show. And hopefully, if the people like this video, you'll see me again. So long.